Hey you guys, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my mid-year book freakout tag. Is that... Yes. I was tagged by Chrissy Books and Berries, so thanks for the tag and I'm very excited to be participating. But overall, it's July. Like how? How is it July already? I swear we just started the year and I was just reading some other books that I don't even remember anymore. And now it's July and we're in the middle of the year. And I actually start thinking about the books I want to read for the rest of the year and books I need to read. And presents, because everyone's birthdays are like clumped up towards the end of July. And then like all over until like December plus Christmas. And I'm just... How did it's already July? And I also need to finish my novel. But it's not so much as... I'm almost there with my novel. I am. But because I started the novel in like late December, early January. So that means I have been consecutively writing a chapter every week for the past 6-ish, 7-ish months. But enough about that. Let's get on to the books that have caused me to freak out. And freaking out over the amount of books that I have read. So I'm going through the questions that I have on here. I took a screenshot of the questions that were available, and honestly there's going to be a lot of double up. I'm going to be double dipping everywhere because a lot of these books are just so great and I just But question number 1 is the best book that I have read so far, and the best book that I have read so far in 2018 as of the moment is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Now for those of you who don't know, Tomi Adeyemi is a debut author. This is her debut novel, which is like surprising because most debut authors aren't necessarily as thick. So, yeah. But aside from that, this follows Zele, who is a magi, and after magic has been wiped out from her country of Orisha, she now has the privilege, she now has to go on the journey of bringing magic back within the set amount of time. Or else, magic is gone from them for the rest of eternity. And I just love this book so much, I'll go ahead and leave my review up above. I'm excited to see how the movie turns out because it's becoming a movie and there's a trilogy, and the sequel's already been announced, which is Children of Vengeance and Virtue. Yes. But I'm very excited for this, and I recommend it to anyone who wants to read it. It's going to be great, and it's wonderful. And who doesn't want to read about... Originally, Tomi said from her Good Morning America interview was that it's like a mix of Black Panther just with magic. So, I mean, if y'all like Black Panther and are expecting magic somewhere, probably should pick this up. Question number 2 is the best sequel I have read so far, and that is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. Now, this is the second book to the Throne of Glass series, and it follows Selena Sardothien, who is a well-known assassin who's been captured, and she is finally able to be released as long as she competes in the King's Champions battle situation, and once that is through, she is free to live her life after serving the king for X amount of years. Now, I love this book. Normally, I'm not a fan of I love series, don't get me wrong, but normally the second book is always the drag. Like always, no matter what you do, it's going to be like the second or the fourth book. Always the one that slows down, no matter what you do. It's like slow, and like it's just, there's just like they're trying to set it up for more happening in the last book, and it's you could live without it essentially, but you can't because it's the second book and it sets it up for the rest of the series. But this book, oh my goodness, this book, like I went from being okay with the first book to loving this one because there was so much that happened, so many little plot twists, and so many great things that happened. It is setting up for the next book that I just need air of fire. Like you think that the series is going to just be about an assassin, but it's not. And there's just so much more about it, and it's just mind-blowing. And I cried a little reading this book because I wouldn't say I was emotional sad-wise, but it was just like a slap in the face kind of emotion. Like, oh, and now my eyes are watering because, I just got slapped in the face. But this has definitely been the best sequel that I have read thus far of 2018, and hopefully the third book will not disappoint. But judging by how everyone's talking about it, I have a feeling it won't disappoint. Question number 3 is new release you haven't read so far, but you want to. There's a lot. There's just a lot. And I don't even own the book yet, so I have to go into my Goodreads to look it up. So let me just, give me a minute. Ooh, Now I know. And that is Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. Now, Love Interest follows two teenage boys who are spies, and their job is to essentially make this girl fall in love with them, but they're kind of too busy falling in love with each other to really get the job done. And I talked about it in the LGBT books that I want to read, which I will also link down below and in the cards. I have to think about how many reviews I'll be linking up, so I need to figure it out. But it'll be linked somewhere. And the plot to me sounds like This Means War, or This Means War, with Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine, and Tom Hardy. And it sounds like what would happen if you just like made Tom Hardy and Chris Pine's characters really, really gay. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's just, I'm excited to read it, and I really need to get it in my hands like right now, and I'm probably gonna buy it soon. This was my favorite. Number 4, most anticipated release of 2018 in the second half of 2018. Now, is this really a question? Like, judging by my taste, judging by the kind of books I like, and the wrap up that I just went live a couple days ago, is this really a question? Because it shouldn't be. And that is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. Now, this is the trilogy, the conclusion to the trilogy of the Dark Artifices. And if you guys don't know, the Dark Artifices follow Julian Blackthorne, Emma Carstairs, and the Blackthorne family after about 6 or so years after the Mortal Instruments ended. So it's just them growing up and figuring things out, and there's a lot of fairy stuff and a lot of romance and a lot of angst. And the Shadowhunter world will never be the same because they're gonna screw it up, but in the best way possible. Because the last book left me for dead. Like, I need to reread it before the next book comes out in December, and I'm probably gonna cry all over again. But it's fine. So question number 5 is biggest disappointment, and this was a toss-up between 3 books, but I couldn't put all 3 books on there. So I just chose one when I remembered that I actually read it in 2018 and not the last leg of 2017, because, days are blurring together. And that is Every Day by David Levithan. Now, this follows A, who is a genderless kind of soul, and every day they jump into a new body and they have to live that day out, fulfilling that person, fitting into their personality and what they would say or do for that day before jumping to the next body. Now, everything changes, as it does in young adults, when they meet Rhiannon. Now, I don't know, you guys. I had such high hopes for this book, and I'm sure that is all on me. This disappointment is all on me because I had such high hopes for it. I thought it was going to be talking more about gender and how there is no actual definition of love, and there's no such thing as gender norms and all this stuff. But it was just such a disappointment. I tabbed 1 or 2 good quotes in here, but at the end of the day, I was like, what is going on? There was just a lot of weird obsession. There was insta-love, and I hate insta-love, but at the same time, if done well, I can deal with insta-love and be in love with insta-love. But this one had insta-love, and it was just not even the cute insta-love, it was creepy stalker obsessed insta-love. And then on top of that, there was some weird transphobic comments that were happening, as well as some fat phobia going on in here, and I wasn't a fan of it. I think I drew the line once we reached the I don't remember which one happened first, but once we reached one of the phobias, I was just like, nope, this book, no matter how it ends, I'm just not gonna like it. And I wanted to like it because everyone said it was really good, and I wanted to see the movie, despite, I'm just gonna leave the very heterosexual movie poster here. I did not like it. I thought that it could have been done so much better, and I definitely will not be continuing with the series, and it's just, So question number 6 is biggest surprise, and that is History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. Now, for those who don't know, this follows Griffin and his boyfriend, Theo, who had just died. Now, Griffin always thought that they were endgame, they had broken up, but Griffin always thought they would find each other no matter what happened. They were endgame, and that was that. And then Griffin dies. And now the only person he really can, who can understand his pain is Theo's new boyfriend, Jackson. So as you can tell, there's a lot of angst going on with just the synopsis alone. Now, I thought this book was going to go one way, and I was rooting for it to go the first way that I had initially thought, and I believe that I did a book review on it, so I'll leave my more in-depth thoughts somewhere here. But I thought it was going to go one way, and it didn't. It went a completely other direction, and I'm so happy for that direction. Like, I didn't realize I needed what I needed until I read this book, and Adam Silvera had me sobbing. Like, I was just sobbing, and I don't know, man. I wish I could tell you. Question number 7. Favorite new author, debut or new to you? And I'm going to stick with new to me, because I love the new debut authors I read, but I haven't read enough of them to, like, pick. And this book is going to be Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, while the new favorite author is Becky Albertalli. I am a little behind on the Becky Albertalli train, but I'm really disappointed in myself for not getting on this train sooner. But I really love Becky's writing. I thought that it was wonderful, and I think that the amount of, like, work she went into just even, like, writing Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and, like, making sure everything was depicted perfectly well, and, like, talking to actual LGBTs who have gone through this and everything else in between was just wonderful. And I really need to get on her other books, which is The Upside of Unrequited, and then Leah and the Offbeat. And then on top of that, she and Adam Silvera are coming out with a joint book, so you know it's going to be very gay and very heartbreaking. Like, new favorite author. Just gonna leave it at that. Newest fictional crush. Okay. This is hard, but we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna end up having to choose between 2 people. Well, 3, but 2 books. And that is gonna be Dorian Havillard from Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. Now, Dorian is the prince of this kingdom, and you guys know me. I have a weakness for characters with Dorian, hence my love for Dorian Gray. But on top of that, Dorian just reminds me of, like, the kind of characters I want to write, and, like, if I had to choose a man, Dorian would be, like, the top 3. He's just quirky, and he's just he just has that quick wit about him, and he loves to read books. He reminds me a little bit of William Herondale from the Infernal Devices series, which if you guys don't know me, my love for William Herondale is, like, to the ceiling. So you can see why I love Dorian. And what happens to him in the second book has me in tears, and I just want to wrap him in a cute little blanket, because I know that there's probably going to be worse to happen to him. I just want to wrap him in a blanket, give him some hot cocoa and some cookies, and just pat his back, and then read him a fairy tale, because I'm sure he would probably enjoy that. The next 2 characters are from To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. Now, that is Prince Elian and Princess Lyra, who are the main characters of this book. Now, Princess Lyra is the Siren Princess, who is loosely based off of Ariel, and she's just so badass, and she has a set kind of goal that she wants, and how she wants to see the world, and how she wants to change the world, and I love it so much. And Prince Elian is, well, he's a prince who prefers to be a pirate, so I don't know what more you want, really. Newest favorite character. Now, this, I don't have it on me because I read it online, but that is the manga of Kakegurui. I saw the anime first because my friend had recommended it, so shout out to Ethel if you're watching this video. But I read it, and then I fell in love with these 2 characters in particular. They're also fitting under my previous question, which is newest fictional crush, but we're just gonna go with fictional character because they have to fall in somewhere. And that is Yumeko Jabami and Mary Saotome from Kakegurui. Now, for those who don't know, Kakegurui is, like, based off of it's about a boarding school, or a school in general, and the main focus for you to kind of climb up the steep ladder and become huge and big in the school is by gambling. And it's just a huge gambling game, and their minds, oh my goodness, if you guys read the anime, watch the anime or read the manga, Mary's and Yumeko's minds are, like, it's just great, and I love them so much, and I would definitely recommend the anime or the manga to you, because I'm caught up with the manga. So, yeah, but question number 10, a book that made you cry. Now, this is going to be a cross between 2 different books, and one's a reread because I did the whole rereading month last month, but That's so you guys probably know which book it is. And that is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. I got confused. And this is the concluding book to the trilogy, to the Infernal Devices trilogy. And oh my goodness. I didn't think I was going to cry this time around because I sobbed hysterically the first time. And I was reading this in public and finishing it up, and the things that had happened and how it concluded, it was like such a bittersweet ending because like we got what we wanted after all, and they deserve so much better. And I just cried profusely. The other book that falls under this category is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. Now, I read this book and I cried. It was such a good book. It was so pure and so fun and so sad that you have to read it. You just have to read it. Because I can't even explain the kind of emotions it put me through in the span of how many pages? 303 pages. You just have no idea. Like, you just need to read it and then you'll be fine. You'll understand my pain. And if you have, then you know my pain. So, question number 11. A book that made me... But that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Now, I don't think I mentioned this yet, but The Hate You Give follows Star, who just watched her best friend get shot by the police while he was unarmed. Now, this book made me feel a lot of things. And it made me feel them all in a span of like how many or so pages. And I can't wait for the movie to come out. I just saw the trailer, or I saw it a couple days ago, and I'm just ready. I'm not ready, but I'm ready. I'm ready to read it. I'm ready to see the emotions behind everything. And it makes me happy. Like, it's a sad book, I'm not gonna lie. But it makes me happy that these kinds of stories are becoming more and more popular in YA, because I think young adult literature is kind of where a lot of kids start to like that age, from like high school to college, or like however old kids will start reading this, is how they start to form their thoughts about the world. And having books like this make me really happy because it puts another narrative in everything and shows you that you shouldn't be trusting the media and shouldn't be to the full extent that people are nowadays. And it makes me happy that more books like this are being published and being put out there and becoming mainstream. So, despite it being sad, the existence of the book makes me happy. Question number 12, a favorite film to book adaptation that you saw this year. And this is a toss-up between two movies, and that is Love, Simon and A Wrinkle in Time. My sister's giving me a look. You guys know my feelings on Love, Simon and Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and I thought that they were great. It wasn't a perfect adaptation of the book, by far, it was not. But the heart of the story was still there, the heart of the characters were still there, and that's where I look for in a book to film adaptation. It was just so good and so pure, and it's just something that I think everyone needs to see once, to put themselves in the shoes of what it means to be LGBT and coming out. I mean, not everyone's story is the same, but essentially kind of some of the quotes in there, like the heart of the story, is what I think is the most important part, regardless of like. Question 13, favorite review you've written this far, or the booktube version, favorite video you have done this far. Now, my favorite review in general is probably going to be Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I think that how I had formulated that, how it worked out well. It worked out well, and I genuinely do enjoy it and everything else that came with it. So I would say that is probably one of my favorite reviews, and I'll also leave that linked up above if I haven't already, but also down below. And then favorite video in general, I'd say probably all of my writing vlogs. I think that those guys are my heart and soul. They show kind of where I'm at, not only mentally, but also with this novel I'm writing. It's also a motivation for me to keep doing what I have been doing with my book, because I love sharing it with you guys. I love hearing your reactions to it, and you guys like silently cheering me on if you guys have watched it or not. So I'm just really excited, and I can't wait for the day that I make a writing vlog, and it's when I finish the novel, and then again when I make one, when it's gonna be published, and then hopefully it's in your hands. So question 14, what is the most beautiful book that you have bought so far this year or received? Now, this is a spoiler, a very big spoiler to my June haul, which won't be up until like next Saturday. But that is Dividing Eden by Joel Charbonneau. Like, Like, just look at this cover and like how like the two thrones are divided into two. It just looks like there's a lot of shit that's gonna go down. For those of you who don't know, Dividing Eden is about twins Karis and Andreas, who were never destined to rule. Their older brother was in line to rule the throne, and now that their older brother's dead, it's kind of a gamble as to who can rule the throne now. Oh, king and crown prince, so both their dad and their older brother. But they now have to figure out who is worthy of ruling the kingdom and who will end up ruling it. And now I'm assuming this involves a lot of fighting and possible death. And then question 15. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? A lot. So there's just a lot of books that I want to get into, and I have about 15 or so. It's dwindling. The number is dwindling from my previous book. One of my previous previous videos, books I need to finish. And I'll also leave that link somewhere if you want to see that semi-comprehensive list, because I forgot a couple of books. But those are the books I need to finish. And on top of that, any book that is in my Goodreads list for that year, so my want to read books, and that list is pretty comprehensive, and I don't think I'm going to be getting to that many books this year, I'm not going to lie. So we're just going to aim for the books in this tub, or the books that I have mentioned in that video. But that is it for my mid-year book freakout tag. Now, I don't know who to tag because I don't know who has done this video or not, but if you haven't done the video, definitely tag you. Haha. But even if that's just in a vlog of yours somehow, or on your Instagram vlog, your videos, or however you want to spin it, just show me and then tag me in it. My social media links will be down below, so you guys can tag me in either Twitter or Instagram. I want to hear what books you have enjoyed, what books haven't, and whatnot. If you like these kind of videos, hit like, and I'll try to figure out some other kind of tags to do. Subscribe, because I try to upload videos every Saturday and Wednesday unless something happens. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.